Now, Tennessee head coach Butch Jones joins us in studio, giving the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, no contracts. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great. I see you representing the T-shirt.
Got the Federer shirt. I was ready to go no matter what, Coach, so I'm happy that Federer was able to come through. But your volunteers have some questions now at quarterback with Josh Dobbs gone. Of course, he was terrific for your program. What's the latest in terms of who could be under center for Tennessee?
Well, we all know Josh Dobbs going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're excited about our quarterback situation right now, and it's really a great situation to have. We have a youngster in Jarrett Garantano out of New Jersey and Bergen Catholic, who's be a redshirt freshman, very energetic, live arm, can run the football, and then Quentin Dormady out of Bernie, Texas, who's an individual who's been in our program, drop back passer, but very sneaky athletically. So we're excited about that. And as you guys know, you can never have too much competition. Yeah. I think that's really elevated our entire football program.
Coach, what do both quarterbacks need to show you going into the season?
Consistency in performance, leadership, and really taking care of the football and really managing the game. And they don't have to win the game, just manage the game. But the big thing we want is consistency, and that's what we're able to have with Joshua for a number of years.
You're taking on, you open the season, Georgia Tech on ESPN. You've got Georgia and Florida in September. How do you prepare? That's a tough opening schedule, Coach. Right out of the gate, two inexperienced quarterbacks.
Well, we've come to know that at Tennessee. In our first 5 opponents, they were all divisional champions last year. And obviously a great opportunity on Labor Day to compete against a very, very good Georgia Tech football team in the Mercedes Dome in Atlanta. But we have 3 games in 13 days, and you know, as a former player, we're going to have to be able to start fast and really take care of our bodies. And then first game, obviously, the triple option, it's going to come down to playing complementary football.
Triple option. How maddening is that for you as a coach? Because I watch as a fan, I just laugh because it can just seem so goofy. But is it just frustrating for a coach sometimes when you're game planning for that? Or is it something that you go, all right, at least we know what they're going to do. It's pretty straightforward.
It's a great challenge, and it's really going to challenge your overall discipline. Right. And, again, all 3 phases playing together as one, as we like to refer to it as complementary football. That's going to be very key to us in this football game. But as you know, when you play the triple option, everyone has to focus on doing their job and understanding their responsibilities.
Coach, you won 9 games in the past 2 seasons. What's the expectation going into the season as a team? What's your goals?
Well, our expectations at Tennessee never change, and that's to win championships. And, you know, that's why you play the game. That's why you compete, is to contend for championships. And there's only been 3 programs in the Southeastern Conference that have won 9 games 2 years in a row, and Tennessee happens to be one of those. But there's so much more out there. There's so much more in terms of expectations. I know our great fan base is hungry. We're hungry for it.
Right.
But you play the game to win championships, and that's what it's all about.
We're talking with Tennessee head coach Butch Jones right now. Mike and Mike, ESPN Radio, ESPN2. Tennessee has storied football history, but there was some down years prior to you taking over, Coach. How do you think you were able to kind of restore the luster to this program?
Well, it takes time, and we live in an instant gratification society. We want things now, but as the caretaker of Tennessee football, it's about building a foundation that can maintain sustained success, and that's what we want, and we've been able to do that now. We're 15-4 in our last 19 games at Tennessee, but what I just mentioned to now, it's, you know, being in the championship contention year in and year out. I'm excited about our football team. We'll be a very young football team, but our program has a lot of momentum. This is the best off season that we've had. Rock Gullickson, our strength and conditioning coach, 17 years in the National Football League, has really made a monumental difference in our football program. We've had the best off season we've had.
October 21st, you got Bama. Give us something. What you got for them?
It's a great rivalry, and we have to go to Tuscaloosa this year. And 2 years ago, we went there, and the game came down to the final drive. Yeah. And obviously, that's a big rivalry for us. That game is so important to so many people, and we have to take it 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time, and we just have to progress and work to be a better football team. And what we found out last year is, you know, what the challenge of last year is I knew we were 22, 23, we could compete with anyone in the country, but when you're building the program, it's having that competitive depth, and our players have to learn a lot from last year and what happened. And you know, we had over 13 injuries to starters, and we had so many individuals miss games. And I think the thing that comes out of that is our younger players learned that it's next man in. It doesn't matter. The names in the back of the jerseys may change, but the expectations never change.
If you beat Bama, what does it mean for you in your career?
Well, it's a big win, obviously, because it means so many things to so many people. It's a rivalry game, and it gets us one step closer to our goal of winning a championship.
Okay.
What do you say to those, Coach? You said Alabama's been carrying the conference the last few years.
Well, when I look at it, I look at top to bottom, the competitive depth, and you'll be hard-pressed to find any conference in America other than the Southeastern Conference that's complete from top to bottom. And unless you compete in it on a weekly basis, you really don't understand the physical toll that it takes on your football team, but also the mental toll as well. Anywhere you go on the road, it's difficult to win. You're going to play in sold-out venues, very, very passionate fan bases that go along with those storied football programs. So it's a grind week in and week out.
Last week, Jimbo Fisher said the ACC is the best conference right now in the country. Your reaction to that is?
Well, I think, again, when you go back and you look at it from top to bottom, the competitive depth that lies in the Southeastern Conference, when you just look at that, I think the results, again, that speaks for itself.
We've been having a... We're going to go off the radar here. Before you
Drive it right off the road.
Let's say, before you expect another hard-hitting football question, Coach, Marin Cilic started crying at Wimbledon in the second set versus Roger Federer. So part of it was because of his physical. He wasn't 100%.
He did put the towel over it.
Correct, right.
How do you well, Coach, how do you handle your players crying? Because it's an emotional game. I've cried. Like, after a tough loss, I've lost it, and I've kind of broke down on myself because it is an investment. You're invested in the game. Your family is. I mean, how many times I done walked off the field and just been like, man, I know I gave it my all.
Right.
And still come up short. How do you deal with it when your players do break down?
Well, I think it's a byproduct of investment. And you put so much into getting yourself ready mentally, physically for competition. And you put everything that you have into that. And then when it doesn't go the way you want it to do, you see those emotions come out. And to me, I think that's a byproduct of being invested. And, you know, we've had some obviously some hard-fought losses along the way in the previous 4 years. And as a coach, when you come in, you want to kind of see your football team hurt because I think that's a byproduct of their investment and understanding what they represent in terms of our great fan base and their families and everything that's associated with that.
We were also discussing on this theme of movies that you cry at. So I was saying I got emotional during $1 Million Baby. Willie cried at Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith.
Great movie. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Tune in.
I have to up my movie game.
Yeah.
So don't ask me what movie I've cried at because it's been a long time.
Okay, that's what I was about to say.
Is there a latest one? And do you remember?
Maybe Old Yeller or something?
Nah, I can't.
Bambi?
I'm more into comedy. When
I like to hear that.
When I go to the movies, you know, Adam Sandler or something like that.
You seem like I meet myself and Irene, Coach.
Caddyshack never gets old.
Caddyshack, Animal House.
Yeah.
There you go.
Eddie Murphy movies, Beverly Hills
Coming to
Cop,
America is great.
all that, yeah.
So
How about The Naked Gun? That's a great comedy.
That's
a stretch.
Come on.
That's a
Naked Gun, Frank Drebin.
Naked Gun.
From the Files of
Liam
Police
Nielsen,
Squad.
right?
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen, sorry.
Great Canadian. Tennessee head coach Butch Jones is now going to get some more hard-hitting questions elsewhere here at ESPN. But thanks so much for coming by, Coach. Best of luck with Tennessee, and I hope it's a great season for you.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.